All right, thank you. Still on the program this morning on ITV, talking about labor and the federal government. Just like what I said, there seems to be a looming strike, and labor has said that if federal government is not ready to ensure that the whole story about minimum wage becomes a thing of the past, they might just go on strike. And we just pray that within the next few days, few weeks, that does not happen. Well, the whole story has also been on consequential adjustment and relativity, and it's such a very big explanation there. Well, to look at this morning, we are so privileged to have Reverend Olu Aderibigbe. He's a labor devotee and somebody that has spent almost, so many years talking about labor and trying to fight the issues of labor. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. Well, what is the status quo now as it relates to consequential adjustment, relativity, and the presidency?
Well, I think for now, everything is on standstill based on the recalcitrant attitude of federal government concerning workers. The minimum wage should not be as people begging for their right, and they should not use it as if it's a political game. When election is coming here, you just want to do one thing. You have made a pronouncement, and workers have agreed. We applauded the president that you have done very well. But a situation where you now want to be, marginalized or derailed from your agreement, the problem is percentage. This is minimum wage. Now, some area, federal government is already paying level 1 to 6 in some federal government and some states.
Yeah.
And the problem now from level 7 and above, and that labor formally asking for 20% across the board, but federal government say no. And okay, the labor is still, they considered again to the level of 11% across the board from level 7 to 17 and above. Yet the federal government is insisting that they are not going to go further, and they can only pay 9%. So this is not really acceptable to workers. The National Joint Negotiation Council, they have even included some unions that are not, they were not involved before. NUT, they are now part of it. NOGA. So today we have an enlarged house at the national level as a GNC level. So the negotiation is on, but the stalemate is until the federal government succumb on this 11%. If not, can I say, fire.
All right, so the battle now is between 11% as expected by labor,
yes,
and federal government's 9%.
Yes.
Now, some people are of the opinion that perhaps labor, only try to put the cats before the horse. I mean, for them, labor would have probably settled all the issues around consequential adjustment, relativity, before even allowing the federal government to approve the minimum wage.
You see, you have to know, first get the bearing. You see, you want to drive a car, before you take a speed, you engage yourself in Tier 1. And Tier 1, and that's what you go to Tier 2. So it is when we know what is minimum wage we agreed upon, then because it's spreading. Normally, it's normal to agree on the minimum wage, and then to cross across the board, then the negotiation court. That is where to cross the T and dot the I. So it's not a problem from labor. At the beginning, there must be an agreement. How much you want to pay? It takes long time before this agreement came to reality.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, now that the government has agreed with the workers, this is what we are going to do. They don't need to negotiate more than that. But because they have the knife, they have the yam. But they forgot that the labor created, the built and planted the yam for the employers to come and share. So this is what, don't blame labor. This is the first time 30%, we agree. Then how do we spread it? We have agreed from 1 to 6, the minimum wage.
Yeah.
But from the upper class, from 7 and above, then you know that there are discrepancies in step by step.
Yeah.
But in it, the government want to, cheat. Let me use the word cheat, because they know what is right, what to do. And Labour were not ready to succumb to it. It's not that at the beginning. You cannot negotiate what you have not agreed upon. We have agreed on 30%, then how do we share it? The sharing from level 7 and above is the problem.
All right. Now, the greatest challenge for this whole issue now seems to, be on the fact that, like some state government have started paying. To what extent can Labour achieve all they need to achieve at the end of the day, whereby some state governments have already started paying and some just doing what they are doing?
But the Labour, that is why Labour is now giving the signal that there's no more business as usual. Now, after this decision, the NSC will probably take over.
What do you mean by take over now?
But if at the GNC level, the GNC, the union in the public sector, I mean the private sector, in the government sector, that GNC, that the Joint Negotiation Council negotiating with government concerning the salary. If they fail, the umbrella body, which is Nigeria Labour Congress, will take over. And already signals have been sent to states, to workers, actually the affected states.
Yeah.
So there's nothing, because government is like cow. Take note.
No, but you will let's.
No, sorry. So unless you have to hit them before you move. So there's no need to go on strike on this matter. It's just a simple arithmetic. Let's spread this thing. Okay, you say you cannot afford to pay this. Labour came down from 20% to 11%, but you are insisting on 9%.
Now, what is?
And like you, the negotiation has not finished. Already VAT has been increased. The negotiation has not finished. So you want to take from right?
That is not even for the VAT is not in effect now. So it's not as if they are taking it now. It's going to start in 2020. That's the next step.
You have to, if somebody want to kill you, you don't waste until that person comes. If you don't start the decision now, the effect of banking, the increase in banking issue, if you pay so amount of money, you have to pay some interest. I still not started.
All right, now if you look at the difference now, the difference is just in about 2%. What is the significance of this 2%? Because for some people, if federal government is agreeing to pay 9% and Labour says that it must be 11%, it's just about 2%. What is infinitesimal?
Do you know 10 naira means a lot in your salary? We are buying the same market. Myself, my wife, and governor's wife, they go to the same market and buy. They have much money in their hands. But that 10 naira, that you think you said it is small, a little drop of water made a large explosion. So don't look at, okay, if you look at it, what can government act? What the 2% or that 2%, what can government agree and observe? Who will pay? You see, the workers, you have to cheat every day to climb up. And the money is there. If a woman can have $40 million for gold, that $40 million for gold and trinket can pay 10 states in this country. So why can't government just agree? Workers who have suffered for us. Workers create wealth. They make us what we are. The vote anybody can get in this country, 70% of the vote comes from the workers. Their wife, their father, their mother, their child. You now get up, you now want to marginalize the man who make you to climb up. What is the 2%? To work out, it means a lot. 2%. Look at, if, like I said, if somebody can get $400 million worth of gold, we're not talking about club, we're not talking about bank account. What can government concede for that to late minimum?
But why can't Labour concede?
But it is not possible
for Labour to concede.
To concede. It is not possible because, you see, the problem of Nigerian workers, if a commissioner, for example, is going to Abuja, he will have about 5 cars with 8. They will say hotel. But Nigerian workers will work, even your overtime to be paid. they will not pay it. The workers suffers a lot. So why can't government concede for the just the difference of 2%? So who? Somebody will cry to the smile to the bank, another one is crying to the hospital. So let us look at the workers create wealth, and you must see them in that platform. It's like you are here. You know how you suffer, you know sometimes you trek, sometimes you walk to work because you don't have car. But somebody has 7 cars in his house. They go into office with the color of cloth he wear. Who now will suffer the matter?
Well, perhaps the greatest challenge for Labour too is, the fact that Labour seems not to be united. I mean, take for example, we understand that the TUC seems to be backing out, on Labour on this consequential adjustment and relativity issue.
Well, sometimes I'm not aware that TUC, that they are backing out, because they are part of the system. It's like the whole system collapsed. When you say TUC and the NSC are backing out, it's not possible. TUC will not back up for this struggle. It's a struggle. It's a joint effort. And there's no, in hunger, there's no relation. In hunger, because they want to because the inflation today is high, and they have the money to spend. The Nigerian workers have not 10 naira in their pocket. Even the money is not someone, they cannot even pay, and they are not even paying. So who suffer? The workers suffer more, and yet you are beating them, and you ask them not to cry. To be minimum of 2%. It's not what government cannot pay. Government can pay.
All right. So, but what do you think should be a kind of a lasting solution to some of these issues we're looking at?
The lasting solution is somebody to give and take. So the federal government or government should be able to give this, at least workers who have tried. Look, from independence, from the independence of this country, Nigerian workers have been marginalized. You want to join them to fight for the independence of this country. But when they are talking about those who liberated or who made Nigeria to get independence, they only talk of Awolowo and Sikh.
But at times they also make reference to Sir Pai Modu. I've heard
once in a while. Once. So it's not good to use the Nigerian worker as napkin. It is when you finish your food, you need napkin. It's not possible. This 2% that you're looking about that is too small. It's not. To Nigerian worker is big. It's like somebody now gives you 10,000. You will always run mad. But 10,000 to somebody will not look at you as whether you are you normal. So the government, they have much money, to please the workers for the first time now. For this present next level, because if government have know the purpose in which they are there, because you don't know the purpose in which you are there as a government, as a governor, or as a president, you cannot move to any level. This is the next level now that the present administration should justify their movement.
All right, so the looming strike now, when will it likely start? Because I read an article about 2 days ago that says that there may be strike before independence. Is it possible between today and say Friday for NLC to call on strike?
It's not possible. One, unless you want to organize a strike that will not work, you have to first mobilize.
Okay.
The mobilization has to take place. And then when you send textile workers, they are aware to follow you to anywhere you are going. But I don't see it coming between now and Sunday or Monday.
So you are possibly looking at next week, say after independence.
After independence, then we can now carry out the struggle.
All right, the program is still this morning on ITV, and we're talking about issues on labor, issues of consequential adjustment, relativity, and the presidency. It's been quite some time now, since last year, if I get my records correct.
Since last year, we have been dragging this issue.
And even just a minute before election, that was when the whole thing, started actually. And of course, after election, the 30,000 naira minimum wage was passed into law. But now, still on the 2%, because you just said that it's supposed to be from level 7. Some of the labor people I've spoken with are actually saying that the reason why they are pushing for this is because that's the level where you have, where seniority in labor, so to say, seniority in the workforce starts from. That it would have been, if it's maybe around the junior class, they would not have been calling for it the way they are calling for it now. Is that correct?
Already that has been settled from level 1 to 6.
To 6?
Yeah. But when you are going to a political aspect of workers, you start from level 7. From there you become PS and all that. That is where everybody powerful. But the step has to be properly balanced. That and that is also to the top hierarchy of management want to use some to fluctuate the strength of the workers. So it's better you fight this battle from this level to know so that we are not marginalized.
If this whole fight, Reverend, if this whole fight is really to maybe strengthen the seniors in the labor force, what is now the sincerity of this whole fight?
It's like you are here now.
Yeah.
There's no classless society. You are here with your team. We cannot be equal.
I mean, one would have expected that the fight should be for everybody.
Well, now it's for everybody. The fight is for everybody. But you find out that you are dealing with people who doesn't want you to survive. So when tree fall upon tree, you pick the one on top. Let us first settle level 1 to 6, which was there's no quarrel, there's no problem about it. From level 7 and above, you carry everybody along. We are not separating. We are fighting this battle to have strength, that everybody will belong to one house. As somebody that Nigerian workers, you belong to one house. You here, you know your level. And when the fight comes, sometimes management want to use you not to be able to, to suppress all that. And labor say, no, let us all go together. We are fighting, there's no segregation. We are fighting the same battle that is strengthening Nigerian workers together. The worker is a worker, whether you are a supervisor or you are a manager. You are a worker, so you are under somebody.
Would you want to say that the tripartite committee, that was headed by Mrs. Ama Peppel, did not probably do a thorough job? I mean, one would have thought that all these issues would have been settled with.
The bread gave by deceit, it is sweet, it later turned to gravel. Because if the head is rotting, the body also will collapse. The woman in charge, the problem that the people that are close to the president, they are not giving him good advice. When we are seeing it, what happened to the people is still under probe. Because billions have, that money that woman that alleged to have been taken, it's enough to settle Nigerian workers. Billions, running to billions. So such person cannot be sincere with workers' right, and they cannot represent the president very well. So you can see where the problem started. So the tripartite issue, the government, labor, and they cannot. Why can't they make Nigerian labor NSC president the chairman of the
committee?
Yes, it is there you want to get the truth, and you will know the truth. But when you make an employer a senior person in government to become the chairman, he will defend the government.
But Labour had their representative in that committee. I mean, for that committee to have done what they needed to do, and they made their reports to the government, and government now went ahead to act out and all that. Are you saying that the representatives
if the sincerity of the chairman was there, this problem will happen. Because this is what Labour wants. Yes, it is true. Let us play along with them and add to their demand. We have all agreed 30,000. That is for the stage 1 to 6, from 7. Let us now know how we graduate the percentage.
So are you doubting the sincerity of your own chairman?
I'm not doubting the sincerity of my chairman.
Yeah.
But the chairman came out and said, look, this is what we want to do. And at the end of the day, the chairman of the committee
yeah,
did not give good presentation to the management or to the presidency. It's not a matter of labor. It's a matter of who is the chairman of that committee. And that's what we are seeing right now. The sincerity is not there. Somebody is not, I rely on you, 3 of us agree, this is what we want to do, and okay. Then at the point of rounding up, at the presentation, things went wrong. And is that the fault of labor? It's the fault of the woman who is in charge, who was in charge of that negotiation. Because they knew that after the minimum wage, there must be graduation, there must be percentage. If that percentage had been presented and labor asked, no, that find out. Because it's not just 1 minute's job, it takes months, almost a year. They did that after election, and yet labor still agree. But what is the point now? Or what is the percentage of the difference of 2%? If the sincerity is there, they just want to strengthen Nigerian workers. And we have seen a situation where, even in some states, where you put money in your personal account to increase. And at the end of the day, after much shouting and struggle before you bring that money and let us talk and take money. It's not done. It's not the normal thing. Until things come normal in this country, we know how to put the right pen in the right hole. We will not rest.
All right, so from all talks here, it seems that on the part of labor, the 2% is small, is big, while on the part of government, the 2% is also big. So how do we, go in all this, on the final note?
If we want to be sincere to ourselves, the government should let go and pay according to demand of labor.
Okay.
And then there will be peace, because then you will see that the productivities will be high. You want the result, and you must encourage people to get results. So I appeal to government to listen instead of putting many people in trouble. People when they strike, it's not easy. Everybody will be in problem, plus our wife and relation. But you must get what you want. So I want to appeal that government should do what is needful and let them agree according to the cross-board.
And so that we won't have strike.
So that there will be peace, we won't have strike. But without, the strike will be inevitable. And when it comes, it will affect everybody.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on this program today. I've been speaking with Reverend Olu Aderibigbe, a labor devotee in Edo State here, and talking about the consequential adjustment and relativity as it relates to the 30,000 naira minimum wage. So we just hope and pray that the looming strike doesn't happen, so that Nigeria can really be on its foot working. Because once we have strike, a whole lot is affected, the whole sectors are shut down, and not even in this period of independence around the corner and all that. Yeah.
Appeal to government, if they listen, then everybody will have the credit anyway. When we don't listen, the labor also will have the credit.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. We just hope that in due course we should be able to bring somebody from government so that they can also tell us their own side of the story, and so that we can have a balanced interview. Well, we'll take a short pause now so that we'll join all the segments still on the program this morning on ITV. Stay tuned.